love you. I love you. I love you! Obsession is not a horror movie. It is not a thriller, and it is definitely not a romantic film. It is a psychological case study of the flawed male nature in today's society and the repercussions of a pattern that can turn a man into a monster. It is a story where nobody is entirely right and nobody is entirely wrong. Every single significant character in the movie does something flawed at some point, and it leaves the audience in limbo, struggling to figure out who they should root for until some go too far. Bear is widely regarded as the most evil and repulsive character in this movie, and while this is true, as he is irredeemably deplorable, in this video we're going to tell the tale of the real cause of the disgusting events in Obsession, also known as the unrecognizable demons, the outshined corruption, and the underrated evil of Ian.
Let's begin with the obvious villain in the story, Bear. The movie opens with Bear and Ian and some girl in a diner, and Bear's rehearsing a love confession for Nikki that he has no intention of ever actually delivering. Bear has liked Nikki for 7 years, and the closest he's ever gotten to confessing his feelings for her is this and practicing in a mirror. Keep in mind, this bum is 25 years old, and listen to what he's saying in this confession. You're in every song I listen to. I think about you constantly. I feel like I'm falling apart. That doesn't sound like love. That's limerence. After 7 years of being fixated on Nikki, Bear doesn't actually even know her. He assumes she'd hate a crystal necklace. He uses a nickname that she hates, knowing full well that it bothers her. And when the wish kicks in and a different version of Nikki starts dating him, he can't even tell the difference. He spent 7 years building a fantasy of this woman, and he still got her completely wrong. That's limerence. It doesn't care about who someone actually is. It only cares about the chase, the validation, and the feeling. There's a scene where Nikki tells Bear she's writing a love story, and he immediately calls it a romance. She has to correct him, and she says that it's not a romance, it's a love story. And Bear goes, "Aren't those the same thing?" And that one line tells you everything you need to know about Bear. Bear wants a romance. He wants a fantasy, a feeling, a projection. Nikki wants a love story. She wants a real connection, a relationship between two real, flawed, and complicated people. Bear was never interested in the real version of Nikki, a real person with real flaws. He wanted an imaginary, idealized version of her that he had created in his head. When I was watching this movie, I assumed that Bear was just a chill dude who slowly became the bad guy throughout the movie. But the more you look at it, the more you realize that Bear's transformation isn't really a transformation at all. Bear was always the villain. He begins the movie wussing out of confessing his feelings to Nikki, and then uses the One-Wish Willow as a magical roofie.
Look at it, look at it.
Up until now, he's justifiable, right? Like, yeah, he's an incel, coward, loser, but he didn't know that this wish could work, right? He couldn't possibly know that. And that's all good, except when Bear starts to realize that something's wrong with Nikki, he completely ignores it. He makes excuses for it, and then he lies to everybody around him about it. The scariest scene in the movie for me wasn't one of the jump scares or one of the scenes where Nikki was acting crazy. It was that scene where Bear got up from the bed and the real Nikki was talking to him. And she wanted him to kill her because she was suffering so much. And the first thing that Bear says is, "What's so bad about being with me?" And then when Nikki replies that she's never actually been with him, Bear gets so offended. You can see him get angry and he walks away. He doesn't care about Nikki. And then when Bear thinks that he can cancel his wish, he wants to alter it instead.
What's up?
I was calling to see if there's a way I can alter a wish.
Like to cancel your wish?
No. It's okay to keep the... I just want to know if I can, like, alter it a little.
I'm sorry, we don't really do that.
He's completely fine with taking away Nikki's self, her autonomy, just as long as he's loved. Towards the end, when Bear is desperate, he tells Ian that he can have Nikki. I think this just shows that Bear never loved Nikki, and when things went wrong for him, he used her as a bargaining device to get what he wanted. And at the very end of the movie, when Bear has finally run out of road and he can't handle this anymore, he tries to do something noble and he can't even follow through. He can't pull the trigger and he tries to throw up the pills. He cannot summon one moment of genuine self-sacrifice. Bear begins the movie as a coward and he ends it as one.
Now that we've gotten Diddy Jr. out the way, let's talk about the other villain in this story, Ian. This entire story and everything that happens starts with Ian. Towards the end of the movie, we find out that Ian and Nikki have been secretly hooking up for 2 whole years. And when you think about that and put that into perspective, you realize that the entire situation could have been avoided. When the movie begins, we see Bear rehearsing a genuine confession of his feelings, or what we perceive to be genuine. But Ian cuts in and tells Bear that Nikki doesn't like that kind of stuff. And then he claims that calling her Freaky Nikki is a much better idea. We know from the car scene that Nikki's fond of love stories. And had Bear given that same heartfelt confession, there's a chance Nikki really would have given him a shot. This is proven by Inde Navarrette in an interview claiming that, yeah, had Bear actually said how he felt to her when she asked, it was very likely they would have given it a shot. But after this, when Bear, Sarah, Ian, and Nikki are at the bar, Bear ushers at Ian that he's going to tell Nikki how he feels. But Ian keeps shaking his head not to. Bear goes up to the bar with Nikki anyway, planning to tell her how he feels. But right before he does this, Ian comes in and interrupts them. Ian doesn't want to commit to Nikki, but he also doesn't want Bear to have a chance with her either. And this reframes the entire story. If you really look at how everything started off, Ian and Nikki have been hooking up for 2 years, completely casual. And yet, Bear has been madly in love with Nikki, and Ian's been egging him on to ask her out while simultaneously not letting him do it in a way that would actually let him have Nikki. It's possession, it's control. He wants power over Bear and Nikki. It's disgusting. Let's not forget that Ian knew that Sarah liked Bear the entire time. If he had chosen to instead egg on Sarah to ask out Bear likely would have caved in and been with Sarah, because his feelings for Nikki were just infatuation. They weren't real. In addition to all this, Bear immediately let Ian have Nikki without any regret after she started going crazy. And he found out about her essentially getting cracked by Ian for 2 years. This directly proves that had Ian chosen to tell Bear about his activities with Nikki before or as soon as Bear began showing attraction towards her, it's incredibly likely that none of this would have happened and Bear would have ended up with Sarah. None of this even slightly addresses the selfishness that Ian also displayed at the end of the movie. Bear gives him a chance to save Nikki, and Ian gives himself $1 billion. It's selfish, it's disgusting. And you could make the argument that he didn't believe in the one-wish willow, but let's be honest, if your friend walked into your room bloody and disgusting and desperately told you to save someone, you're listening to them. Ian was a psychotic, vile, and manipulative person, and he got exactly what he deserved. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe. If you do enjoy our content, we be posting a lot of superhero content, film, TV, and game analysis, and there's a lot more coming because 2026 has like a bunch of media coming out, and we're going to be reviewing anything and everything that you guys request and that comes out. Much love to everybody, and yeah, we out.